Hi everybody, welcome back to our van build series. I am Mike and this is Sir Cedric, our 1988 Mercedes T1 Bremer, which we currently convert into an Overlander camper van. This time I want to give you an overview of our gas system and how we installed the gas cooker. During our winter break, the gas cooker has finally arrived after I think 4 months of waiting time. And it's a Can PV1350, and I think this model looks really very nice. And the next step will now be cutting the hole in the worktop, which is of course always a very ugly job, because if you make any mistake then you can just start new with the worktop. But somehow we will manage that, and after that we have to connect the gas lines, but for that job I will get professional help. And I have to say it was worth waiting, because this cooker from Can is a real designer piece. Let me first show you what it looks like finished, and then we go step by step through the installation process, what the setup looks like and what exactly you need to get the technical approval for a gas system here in Germany. For extra security, we additionally install a gas detector called Tri Gas Alarm from Linnepe. That's a German manufacturer. And I want to show you how to install this device, and we want to review it to see how it works and why it's so important to have such a device in the van. Finally, of course, we will also review the cooker, and you can join us preparing the first meal ever in our van. In Germany, installing a gas system in a van is, or better say was, regulated in every detail. Currently, this regulation is suspended and a new regulation is in the works. For the moment, it's probably best to follow the old rules. Anyway, lucky you don't want to be killed by gas poisoning later. So, what do you need? Number 1. A completely sealed gas compartment for the gas bottle. We built that in the kitchen cabinet. If you want to see details of the build, please check out our kitchen video, which is linked up in the corner. The compartment got an extra door, which is sealed with foam rubber and secured with 2 latches. Mandatory is also a skirting of at least 5 cm. All joints in this compartment are sealed with silicone, and further important is that this compartment must not contain any electrical components. Number 2. This compartment has to get a 100 square centimeter, so usually 10 by 10 centimeter hole in the bottom, so the gas, which is heavier than air, can escape. Our shape is a bit odd, but that doesn't matter. Of course, you have to cut a corresponding hole in the floor of the van as well. You can now leave the hole like it is, but I think it's better to build a simple flange like this one here. We did that with a sheet of aluminium, spray painted that, and then added this plastic grill. And that avoids any moisture from under the van to get into the wooden subframe or into the Armorflex insulation. And we also avoid that any insects or rats or whatever can enter our gas compartment. Inside of the kitchen cabinet we use silicone to seal the flange. And from under the van we use Coroflex. A good alternative would be Sikaflex 521 sealant. With this sealant we get a nice and clean finish from inside and outside, and moisture cannot get into the floor subframe or into the insulation anymore. Number 3. The gas bottle needs to be properly secured. There are different options for that. We decided to use these tension belts, which come as a set together with these fastening fixtures. By the way, an Amazon link for that stuff is, like always, in the description below. Number 4. You need this kind of gas pressure regulator, which limits the pressure to 30 millibar, and you also need, no joke, this mandatory sticker which states that it's 30 millibar of pressure in your system. The gas pressure regulator must not be older than 10 years, so always keep an eye on the production date and avoid buying an old product which has limited life left. Number 5. If you power more than one device with gas, so let's say the cooker and the heater or the cooker and the fridge, you need separate stop valves for each of these devices. In my case, the fridge is electric and the heater is diesel powered, so my cooker is the only gas powered device and I can skip the extra stop valve. My one and only stop valve is the one that is directly at the gas bottle, and of course that one I will always close when I don't use the cooker, especially at night. Number 6, the gas line, which in my case is very simple because there are no extra valves or branchings. is made of steel 8 mm in diameter and 1 mm thick. It would not be allowed to use any flexible material like a rubber hose outside of the gas compartment. Number 7. The whole system has to be pressure tested by an authorized professional, and then you get this kind of certificate which contains the setup of your system and the certification of the pressure test. And with this certificate you then go to TÜV or DEKRA and they will issue another certificate which is necessary to include the Gaskocher in the ownership documents of the car. And if you now think this is a stupid and complicated duplication, you are totally right, but this is Germany. I would be very curious if in your country, if you live outside Germany, this is the same complicated process or this is maybe much easier. I cheated a bit and didn't install the gas lines myself, but got help from Custom Works, a company which specializes in converting Airstream trailers, but also repairs and converts normal vans. They could also conduct the pressure test and provide the important certificate. The only job left for me is now installing the cooker into the bamboo countertop. First step is cutting the necessary hole with the jigsaw. I would say it looks good. For attaching the cooker to the countertop, I used transparent silicone. This is maybe not the best choice because for a long-term bond, a real glue like Sikaflex 112 would probably be superior. So I might have to do this work for a second time in 1 or 2 years, we will see. There is an easy trick to get a clean finish when working with silicone. Just use masking tape. With the help of water and a bit of dish liquid, it's easy to get perfect lines and the tape prevents any silicone too far outside. The tape has to be removed right away, don't let the silicone dry. Then, very important, move your wet finger over the silicone one last time to avoid edges from the masking tape, and now don't touch it anymore for a few hours. Now comes the big moment. Let's see if the installation was correct. Isn't that great? It works perfectly. I'm super happy, and now we just have to clean everything and then we make some nice pictures for you. And this is the result. Nothing to complain, I would say. Your cooker must have an automatic shut-off valve in case that the fire goes out, and that's important, so you should regularly check that. For that you just close the fire and then you listen carefully. After about a minute you should hear a click noise. And that was the shut-off valve in action. If you can hear that, everything is fine. With all our precautions, the gas system should be very safe now, but it's good to add another safety layer, and that's a gas detector, which activates an alarm if there is any gas escaping in the van while you are sleeping. We bought this device here, that's a Linnepe Tri Gas Alarm. And this can not only detect propane and butane, which might come from a leak in your system, but it can also detect narcotic gases, which a robber might spray into an air vent of your van while you're sleeping. Installation is super easy. All you need is a location at a wall about 10 centimeters up from the floor, and then connecting the wire to your battery. And we will install it here at the base of the driver's seat, because under the seat is the battery, and that makes things very easy for me. The Tri Gas Alarm detector is activated with pressing this one and only button, And then the device makes a system check and calibration, and it takes maybe 20 seconds, and it is indicated with this flashing green light. After that, it turns to a constant green light now, and that means the system is ready. This green light can also be dimmed with a short pressure on the power button, but we leave it with the strong light. The sensor is able to adapt to temperature changes, which is an important feature for a reliable operation at all times. So what happens when the sensor detects gas? Let's try that with a lighter. It first starts a pre-alarm, which is indicated with this flashing red and green light. And after about 20 seconds, you have the flashing red light and you have the alarm sound. For switching that off, just press the power button for 2 seconds. So it definitely works, and I think this device is an absolute must-have in any camper van for safety reasons. If you want to check it out, there is a link below. Just be careful when you buy somewhere else, because I have seen devices with a similar name, which are not the original from Linnepe, but some cheap copies. There are a few more things to consider, which I wanted to mention. First is the detector is only intended for night use when you are sleeping, not for daytime use. The reason is at daytime you might use, for example, a deo spray, and that could result in a faulty alarm. Second thing, it is not suitable when you have cats or dogs in the van, because that could also result in faulty alarms. And third, the device should not be mounted next to the air vent of a heater, and it definitely has to be connected with your 12-volt battery and not some AC/DC adapter. Now the cooker still needs a real-world test, so let's cook something. And we have changed the location. This here looks absolutely nice, and I will prepare the table now, and Tar is the chef. By the way, what do you cook?
Something vegetarian, avocado with tomato.
Okay. Well, the Kann gas cooker passed the test. It's not only super stylish, but it also works faultlessly. And while we now enjoy our snack, I want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, comment and subscribe. I always enjoy reading your comments, and also any question is always welcome. In the next video, I will probably present you our setup for the bed, both during daytime and during nighttime, because we have some special hacks. See you next time. So, jetzt will ich wissen, wie das schmeckt. Lecker.